All right, sounds good, Jeanette. While President Trump expressed confidence and optimism over his tariff tactics and U-turn, markets tanked once again over mixed messages from the White House and the seemingly endless trade war with China. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court decided the Trump administration must facilitate the release of the Maryland man who was wrongly deported to El Salvador prison. NBC's Alice Barr reports from Washington. Good morning, Alice.
Good morning, Marisa. This week's Wall Street whiplash is highlighting the damage that uncertainty can do to the economy, as China again retaliated this morning with even higher tariffs on U.S. goods and a quickly escalating trade war.
A wild week on Wall Street, winding down with another downturn on Thursday, erasing part of Wednesday's historic recovery as investors eye the growing trade war with China. President Trump with his cabinet acknowledging what he calls short-term pain.
There'll always be transition difficulty.
While insisting negotiations are going well with other trading partners who got a 90-day reprieve in punishing tariffs and suggesting China could follow.
I think that we'll end up working out something that's very good for both countries.
No sign of that yet, with the White House clarifying total tariffs on Chinese imports are now 145%, including a previous fentanyl-related penalty. China's retaliatory 84% tariffs now in place on American goods. The rift in that critical trade relationship set to drive up prices as small businesses, like this Utah hobby shop and its customers, brace for impact.
I'm a little nervous that I'm not going to get some of the product I ordered, or I'm going to have to pay more for stuff.
The instability making market forecasters like J.P. Morgan Chase stick with predictions that the U.S. economy could tip into a recession. While on a separate front, the Supreme Court ordered the Trump administration to reverse course on a Maryland man who was wrongly deported to an El Salvador prison. After days of dispute, the High Court saying the administration must facilitate the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, though the justices did not back all of a lower court's ruling ordering his retrieval, saying the White House deserves deference to conduct foreign affairs.
Back on the economy, I noted that China has escalated once again its tariffs. They're no longer 84%, now up to 125%. That is set to take effect tomorrow on U.S. goods imported into China. There was some good news yesterday with a new report showing inflation cooled in March from the month before, more than expected. But that data comes from before the trade war really ratcheted up. And again, economists are expecting the prices are going to be forced up once again. Marisa?
All right, thank you, Alice. Have a great weekend. Let's talk more details on the deportation of a legal resident. As you just heard, the Supreme Court's upholding a lower court's order. It says the Trump administration must return a Maryland man who was mistakenly sent to El Salvador last month. Now, the High Court also said the administration should be prepared to share what steps it already has taken and what it still might do. Now, the ruling is the latest development in the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was deported to a mega prison in El Salvador despite a court ruling forbidding it. The administration admits it made a mistake in sending Abrego Garcia to El Salvador, but insists he's a member of the MS-13 gang. Well, a federal judge is allowing the Trump administration to continue with a requirement that everyone in the U.S. illegally must register with the federal government. The Department of Homeland Security announced the mandate in February. People registering must provide fingerprints and an address. Those who don't self-report could face fines or prosecution. The Trump administration says they're just enforcing an already existing requirement. Critics argue the registration is meant to help the administration carry out mass deportation. It's set to go into effect today. Well, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the HHS will uncover the cause of autism by September.
We've launched a massive testing and research effort that's going to involve hundreds of scientists from around the world. By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
Scientists believe genetics and environmental factors can play a role in autism, but the exact cause is unknown. For years, Kennedy has asserted autism stems from routine childhood shots and vaccinations. Many in the medical community say there's no evidence to support that claim.